Welcome back to Ski Special. The women's downhill tour got underway high up in Lake Louise in Canada. Alberta, the state, and the course strangely named the Olympic Downhill because it's never actually been used for that purpose. Well, the race was always being billed as the big showdown between Katja Seizinger, last year's World Cup overall and Super G champion, and Peekaboo Street, the American, who comes into this season as the reigning World Cup and World Downhill champion. But it was another German who set the earlier pace. Regina Hausel seemingly recovered from her last couple of seasons of average results. Previously a winner on the World Cup, that was back in 1993 in Cortina d'Ampezzo. And she attacked the course here in Lake Louise in some style, setting a time that we had to wait quite a while to be beaten. Masnada the quickest at that stage, but Hausel well inside her time by over a second. Katja Seizinger had selected bib number 17, and that she powered out of the start gate. You sensed that she wanted nothing short of a World Cup victory. Peekaboo Street was a little bit further down the start list with bib number 27, but Seizinger was already in full swing and powering through the course in Lake Louise. She had the quickest time of all through the speed gun, and when it came to the early intermediate time, she was way ahead of her teammate. Seizinger doesn't have to worry about the prize money. It's not important to her. She's got plenty of money already. And that, some would say, gives her less pressure. She races for the fun of it. And at 105 kilometers per hour, she was about to set an absolutely sizzling time on the course here in Lake Louise. A wonderful jump where she barely moved from the tuck position even during her flight. And Hausel's time looks set to be demolished by the Olympic downhill champion. Seizinger steamed down the hill with scarcely a break from the aerodynamic position, and 1.41 seconds clear of Regina Hausel. A truly brilliant race from Katja Seizinger. Heidi Zerbriggen ended years of waiting for her first World Cup win at the back end of last season at the World Cup finals in Kvitfjell. So often she'd been second and third and second and third again. And so often she'd been a whisker away from winning her first World Cup win. One time, again, having the race cancelled while she was in pole position. And finally, she put the bridesmaid blues behind her last season and got off the mark. And this season, Zerbriggen will be a force to be reckoned with, not just in downhill, but also in Super G. And if recent results are anything to go by, giant slalom as well. A skier with a famous name and with a famous style, looking to beat Seizinger, but unable to. And we all waited for the next racer, a certain Peekaboo Street.
Stop, Peek. Get fired up now, come on! Peek, go!
Encouraged out of the start gate by her coaches, Peekaboo Street began to attack the mountain where she'd won the previous year and also the year before that. She only knows one speed. Fear isn't even in her vocabulary. And if there's one skier she loves to beat, it's Katja Seizinger. And it was a tall order because Seitzinger's run had seemed almost faultless, whereas Street's seemed a little erratic at times. First guideline time showed us that Street was certainly in with a chance, but still had a certain amount of work to do. By the time she was 3/4 of the way down the hill, it seemed an impossible task. Street hates losing, but more importantly, she hates losing to Seizinger. That's exactly what happened in Lake Louise. As she crossed the line, she was 0.77 seconds down, and at that stage was in second position. Wiberg started next with bib number 28. Ironically, Wiberg has trained the last couple of summers for downhill with the Americans Peekaboo Street and Hilary Lint. And what she's learnt from them now puts her in a position to beat them. And that's exactly what she did here, although she couldn't quite get the better of Seizinger on day one in Lake Louise. There are better things to come for Pernilla Wiberg, as you'll see later in the programme. She was encouraged by hearing the news of Frederick Newberg's win in Breckenridge. She came down the hill with one of her best downhill results ever. Wiberg cruised home in a time of 1:42.64 to give her second position ahead of Peekaboo Street, but behind Seizinger. Well, looking down the start list, there seemed to be only one more racer who could possibly get anywhere near Katja Seizinger. Her name is Carole Montier, and she's from France, now living in Annecy. She's proven in the past that she's capable of getting close to the lead. She's never actually won a World Cup downhill, but my money says that it'll come, and I think it'll probably come this season. Starting with bib number 30. A little bit less pressure, only at the back end of the second group of starters. Suddenly, Seizinger's time didn't look unbeatable. Carole Montier was within a second, and anybody who could achieve that, having watched Seizinger come down, may well have been in with a chance of beating the German. Montier couldn't do it, but she registered her best ever win and gave France second position. It's been a while since they've been up there in the women's downhill, as Luc Alphon's achievements rubbed off on the women's downhill.